there somebody out here or what?
I'm busy, but I just don't understand.
Feels like electricity.
So this is the third year in a row the band Murder by Death has come up to the Stanley Hotel for a huge concert weekend.
This hotel lately has gotten to me.
This has never happened before.
That door moved for sure. Yeah, it was moving on Jay. It was
If you're in the tunnel and you open the door, it'd be pretty awesome.
He moved the chair and it stops? That's like... Whoa! Oh, oh my god. What was that? That was awesome. Hello? Hello? What? Hello?
My first reaction is to sprint out of the room. So Carl, myself, and cameraman Wyatt run out of the room. We're the first ones out, and we start to clear the building.
We're thinking somebody has to be playing a prank on us, probably got inside, maybe slammed the door or something, and ran off laughing.
Was somebody screwing with us?
I don't know.
What would that have even been?
It could have been someone shaking the door.
What door?
It wasn't a sound that I recognized. Generally in the concert hall, I recognize the mechanical sounds, and if a door is gonna slam, for example, I generally recognize what that sound is too and which door it is.
I'm like shaking. That doesn't happen.
Oh my god.
This, however, was completely new to me. It almost had an extra rattle sound to it that I wasn't familiar with. But it was so loud, I think it gave everyone in the room a heart attack.
That loud and then like would have had to book it, but no. Like I don't even know what door someone would have like.
I think it was tunnel. Let's go in the tunnel.
What door would that have even been?
That was not a...
It sounded like a chair.
It didn't even sound like a door. It sounded like the whole building.
By the time I had made an entire lap sprinting around the building and entered back into the basement of the concert hall, the group had figured out what the noise was.
Rattle.
Yeah, it's very loud. Something was very loud. Was it this?
Oh, did that shut? Here, open it up the whole way.
Oh, maybe. Let's see. Let's see.
Yep. That was it. Shut.
That's it.
That was definitely it.
Dude, this door shut, dude.
What?
That was the sound. Here, open up the hallway and then let it close, because that's the sound.
But they didn't like...
I don't know. It didn't.
Yeah, it sounded like it slammed pretty hard.
Yeah, it did.
When you came back from.
That was totally it. It was 100%.
Yeah, but it was just a little louder than that.
Well, it was when you're not expecting it.
I don't know.
How does it get released though? Yeah, sounds.
This has never happened before. We don't even pay attention to these storm doors because it's held in place by a huge, gigantic rock that has been there for years and years. As long as I've worked there, those doors have never budged. You'll notice in the video, I walk up and the rock itself is sitting a pretty fair distance away from the door that it was holding open. I have no idea how the rock went from point A to point B.
Yeah, that was it. That was it, but it was way louder.
I think it just startled us so it sounded louder, you know?
Like my brain is screaming right now.
I'm like, I don't know.
And even checking later, we find that all three of those main doors to the outside, they were all locked. The only people who could have gotten in would have had to have a key, and the employees of the hotel wouldn't mess with us on a private ghost hunt like that.
Dude, that is nuts. That could be one of the craziest things that's ever happened to me here.
That sounded like a slam, not just like.
Yeah, it does.
No, that sounded...
Now, at the time, we thought that it would have been more of a slam, that there might have been a forceful close with it. But later on, we went back and compared the audio on the computer, setting the first clip as the original sound that we'd heard, the second clip as a natural closing of the door, and the third clip as a slamming closed door. And we realized that the first two clips matched in volume. So we think happened was the door just drifted shut naturally on its own. However, there's a rock in front of that door that normally props it open. So something had to move that rock out of the way of the door.
How many ways are you gonna hit?
Because the back, the wood hits, the rubber hits, and the latch hits. There's just so many ways that this can catch it and make it not open. Because if it turns it all this way, well, I don't know how it was placed originally. Like maybe if it was like that.
No, that's been there.
I don't know how it originally was sitting, but if it's facing that way, there's a lot of ways for it to catch.
So after this, we are all wide awake and we decide to go and sit in Lucy's room again.
Because I hung it behind you. Because remember I said I saw something.
As we're sitting in Lucy's room, we start to notice this door creaking.
And it's kind of a door that leads to this small crawl space in between the bare rock wall of the mountain and the drywall in Lucy's room.
I was looking down the hall. You could see all the way down the hall.
You guys, the door's going again.
Can you open up this door?
Push it open.
Partially open. Oh my god.
Oh, no way.
Hey, good job, thank you.
That was a little
Convenient. Just out of the blue, staring at the door, thinking nothing really would happen, I say, hey, can you open up that door a little bit? Sure enough, right on cue, the door opens a couple of inches.
Everyone in the room is freaking out. It's pretty cool activity that we just got there from that. But that wasn't it. Well, that was a hell of a send-off. We're asking for knocks and REM pods, and we get the end of the world.
We decide to go dark in Lucy's room where we turn off all the lights,
All of our cameras and all of our devices except for one audio recorder.
close the door, and just kind of sit and see what might be going on.
Why don't you leave the camera alone in the hallway? And then,
On the floor?
yeah. So, just freak out.
It kind of knows how to ratchet up the suspense. So now that we have all that crap scared out of us, let's go pitch dark.
Let's be alone with our thoughts. That's
Then would you like to know K2s and stuff too over there?
closing the door.
All right, turning the cameras off.
And as we're doing this, suddenly we hear another loud bang from the hallway.
It's me. I don't think there was anything.
Yeah.
What was that?
Hello. Open it.
Go.
Hello?
This double door over here just opened, so we're not sure if it was the wind or what.
This time, Carl sprints out of the room, and he ends up finding out that actually one of the double doors at the very end of the concert hall hallway is open.
Hello?
Using his camera for an energy source.
What happened?
Now it's good.
Your camera's bouncing and...
That. It's never done this before. I don't know what that is. That's not what happens when the battery dies.
So right after all of this happens, Aaron Say's camera starts to get a little bit weird. He's been filming throughout the night to get a little bit of footage for his projects he's working on. But out of nowhere, his camera just starts blinking on and off, turning on and off, and the battery gets really weird.
Dude, stay.
And you know cameras, dude. That's like your life.
Yeah, that's the camera that we've had forever.
See, like it'll turn on and then I'll hit record for video again. And then it just breaks out.
So we talked to Aaron a little bit later during that weekend, and the battery just wouldn't hold a charge after that. Does it pop open when you push on it?
I can't even do anything. Power button.
How the hell?
Yeah.
Nothing is. Oh, whoop. Now.
Okay.
Now we couldn't quite figure out how this happened because I walked up to the double door, which was locked earlier in the night, and I came up, made sure the door was closed all the way, and I was throwing my entire body weight against this thing to try to get it to open up on its own, but the door doesn't budge.
I go to investigate, and it seems that the wind might have blown it open. And upon later review of Wyatt's footage, we actually hear a very loud gust of wind kick up right before the door opens, and there's no sound of the push bar getting pushed in.
Hello?
Now, we didn't notice it being incredibly windy that night. However, because Estes Park is in a canyon, every now and then these huge gusts will blow through, and it's never happened before. I've been up at the Stanley Hotel for 5 years and those doors have never moved, but for some reason that wind gust was strong enough to open up those double doors down there.
So this definitely seems to be the cause of what happened. However, when you put it in context with the rest of the night, it is a little bit weird still despite. We've just had 3 doors opening or closing that have never opened and closed before. And though one of them we chalk up to the wind, it definitely keeps the whole night pretty interesting.
Overall, we had a fantastic time with Murder by Death, and they ended up giving us some really awesome concerts throughout that entire weekend.
Now, even last year, after some of their experiences, they wound up dedicating a song to one of our spirits, Lucy. And this year, they did throw out some music to all of the spirits in the concert hall as well. So they've got this really great relationship there with the concert hall, and I think that's really the best explanation for the really incredible activity that they've been getting.
The hotel is really happy to have this awesome relationship with the band. And they're going to keep coming back, and hopefully the spirits keep coming back for them as well.
So Stanley Hotel, is it impressed?
Good first night. Yeah, good first night. Very good first night.
Like a lion, swallowed up in the night, the dreams are dark.